It's finally here, boys. I felt touch in VR. Okay. All right.
I am the God King, your king. Glory sing.
Awesome. I like when I see new alerts. That's awesome.
So there's a scene in Ready Player One where the two main characters are in VR, but every time their avatars touch, they can feel it on their body because in the real world, they're wearing these crazy haptic suits. Now, admittedly, this scene's a little awkward to say the least.
What kind of haptics you rocking?
But I haven't been able to stop thinking about the idea since I first saw it. Imagine this sort of interaction, but not science fiction. And today, we're taking a step.
Haptic cod pieces. We all want them. We all, no, we don't. Yes, we do. Haptic cod pieces.
Towards that. This is a full-body haptic suit for use in VR.
It gets kind
but
of messy.
That's not all.
Cleanup's a
It
bitch.
also doubles as a full motion capture rig for use with full-body tracking, all while being cheaper than any solution we've ever had before. But, of course, as with all things, it's a little complicated. So, let's full dive into this thing, because I think by the time we're through this, you're gonna see exactly why. This is truly hello and welcome to Virtually Odd. We're finally back with season 2. It's been a long time coming, and geez, does it feel good. And in case you're new, this is a series where we take a look at the weird past, odd present, and unknown future of all sorts of virtual reality technology. And it's all hands-on. From treadmills to $10,000 headsets to brain-computer interfaces, today we're going to be talking all about this. This is the Shockwave suit. As I said, it's the very first consumer full-body tracked full haptic suit. It's sort of a modern day immersion rig, or at least as close as we can get to it right now. And this actually first piqued my attention about 3 years ago when I first mentioned the project. But back then, I did it with a lot of skepticism because Shockwave popped up on Kickstarter promising so many things that it was almost unbelievable. This thing supposed
anarchy. It's like wearing a Nintendo glove as a suit. You know what I'm saying? It's craziness, man. Craziness.
Supposedly has 72 haptic motors positioned all over the suit that allows you to feel VR everywhere, from arms to chest to back to legs, even your butt. And if you're into that sort of thing, well, I guess you can have Kermit give you a little.
You know what's creepy about this? You ever see that? What was the movie? I think it was called Gamer. Do you guys remember that? And there was this grotesque, fat, like, you know, old dude who was like a girl in the game, and then like, you know, and they had the haptic suits, and it's like, you know, this here, you know, the dude had like a woman avatar and like a woman voice and everything, and was like touching up on that dude. And I remember like when they zoomed in on that guy, oh my God, I was just like, that's the shit that gives me the chills about this stuff. I want to make sure, like, for me personally, that I'm speaking with a woman, and that's just my preference, you know, and nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being straight, is there? But, you know, I would prefer a woman, you know, and, you know, not a grotesquely fat dude in a chair who's super sweaty. And that's the shit that scares me about this stuff. Let's be real. Like, we all think that, most of us, straight men, we think about that from time to time, and like that would scare me. Like, you know, that's the only thing. Can there be like a check mark by people to verify? Can we have a verification? Elon, what, Pepe? Elon, that's a good idea. We should get Elon Musk into this. That's good. That's a good idea, Pepe.
Spank or something. But not only that, Shockwave is also a full motion capture suit, offering almost the equivalent of 12-point tracking. And to visualize all of that, if you wanted this equivalent beforehand, you'd need a full B-haptic setup with feet, legs, arms, vest, and then for tracking, you'd need 10 to 12 Vive trackers. And all of that would cost you over $2,500, not to mention.
And this is the problem with the industry. What they have to do is they have to package this stuff, make it super sweet. You know, obviously it's not gonna rock your socks off, but it's gotta be decent. And they gotta package this shit all together with the headset, everything included. There you go, one package, and that's what Kuckerberg is working on over at Meta right now. That's exactly what they're gonna be working on. Just a one-stop shop with the trackers, the headset, the suit, the whole thing. Price it as low as possible, get it out the door, and put some titles on it. That's what's gonna happen.
And you then have to spend 20 minutes strapping it all up just for something not to be charged, and you got to do it all over again. The Shockwave, on the other hand, costs less than a fifth of all of that and does the same thing, all while doing it easier. So I'm sure you can imagine why I was skeptical. This whole thing sounds a little too good to be true, which is why I'm a little surprised, because here it is, and it's very real.
Oh, please, don't tell me you're not going to talk about the fact that it's been 2 years and they still haven't shipped to all their Kickstarters. You're going to talk about that. Right, Thrill?
Hey, hold on just a moment. I'll get to that. Just let me talk about this thing first. In the box, you get the full suit, a battery.
I like that. I like that. He's just like, hey, let's talk about the facts. Let's not get on the click hate bait shit.
Pack that holds 3 rechargeable AA batteries that Shockwave says should last around 9 hours or so, of course with the option for a battery bank instead. And the setup is surprisingly easy. You just throw the suit on right over your clothes, although this sort of thing over pants just felt a little bulky. I mean, this thing in general just isn't going to win you any beauty contests anyways, so you might as well make yourself as comfortable as possible. And I found that wearing compression pants underneath was by far the most comfortable setup. And then on the PC side, there's no need for a Bluetooth dongle or anything like that. When you install the suit's Steam VR driver and launch the calibration application, it just automatically connects. Not sure exactly how, but it does. And now we can talk about this application that they have you use for everything, and admittedly, it's just about as jank as it looks. But it does do its job for the most part. Here, I'm able to calibrate all of the IMUs, which yes, this does use IMUs, kind of just like Slime VR. Just it has 12 IMUs, which is double the base setup usually. And I gotta say, at least in the app, the tracking looks pretty darn good, and after calibration, the driver emulates 10 Vive trackers within Steam VR. You got your legs, shoulders, hip, arms, all of it. It's basically 10-point tracking. And in the calibration app, they also have a few extra...
By the way, IMUs means inertial measuring unit. I had to look that up. I just letting you guys know. The more you know. You're welcome. You're welcome. Inertial measuring unit.
Demos like rain falling all over your body, which is kind of crazy because you're able to feel it from your shoulders all the way down to your foot. And if you lay down looking up, then the rain will be hitting your chest. And of course, if you turn around, then it'll start hitting your back. It actually feels pretty precise, and it's a pretty crazy feeling. There's also a couple other demos, like an explosions demo.
What if the calibration asked you to do like the weirdest shit ever, and it got a little too sexual and it was a little too uncomfortable? Like, that's the things, these are the things my brain thinks of. Like, I would like to invent these type of haptic suits, cod pieces, if you will, that come out of the box, and when you gotta calibrate them, they're asking you some pretty, they're asking you some pretty crazy things, certain positions that you have to get yourself into. Right. James is ready. But
it's kind of just more of the same. Because as cool as demos are, if a suit like this only worked with a demo, it'd be pretty useless. And honestly, whenever I first got it, that's kind of all it did work with. A few months later, though, and Shockwave now has Beat Saber, Half-Life Alyx, Boneworks support, as well as a few others. Even audio to haptic and full SDK, and while that's not as much as B-Haptics, for example, it's a decent start. I do gotta say, though, most importantly, it does have full VRChat OSC support, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Boneworks was a surprisingly awesome experience. Any place you receive damage will light up and vibrate in the corresponding spot, so...
That is so cool, you can throw your gun and catch it. Holy God, that's sweet.
Say you get slapped in the back in game, you'll feel it on your back in real life, which certainly adds a whole new level of immersion to something like this. Also, every time you pull the trigger, a jolt of vibration is sent through your forearm. And for this at least, this suit certainly works pretty well and does add a ton to the experience. That is, after you go through the slog of actually adding the mods, because all of these games, at least for the haptic part, don't have native support for anything. For that, you need the developers of each game to add this support in themselves with the SDK, which means you're just gonna have to take an extra step and add a mod to every game you want to use this with, which is kind of a pain, especially when inevitably something always goes wrong. But we haven't even gotten to the good part yet. The one thing that doesn't require any modding is basically the reason why I was excited for Shockwave to begin with, and that's VR chat. Why get slapped around in Boneworks by nobodies when you can get slapped around by your homies in VR chat? Which kind of came out wrong, but I think you get what I'm saying. Using VR chat Avatar SDK, you can add Shockwave support to any avatar, and because of avatar dynamics, you can interact with anybody. Or I guess I should say more properly, anyone can interact with you.
Oh, whoa, okay, there we go.
Oh.
Whether that be a hug, a shoulder pat, slap, shoot, you can even get calf massages from someone all the way across the world. Whatever and wherever people do things to your avatar, you'll just feel it in real life.
This is exactly why we need the haptic cod piece. Please make that happen. Different attachments for different genders.
Of course, it's just vibration. It's not like it actually feels like the thing, but still, you're feeling interaction with people, and it's all virtual. It's kind of wild. And of course, we've seen this before with other setups, but never before have we had something that works for the full body, at least not this easily. In total, there are 72 haptic motors, around 16 on the chest, 8 per arm, a couple on each foot, 10 per leg, 8 on the back, and interestingly enough, around 8 on the butt. So yeah, don't know why they focused on that location, but you know, take it for what it is, I guess. We got butt haptics in here. However, I think the really crazy part here that we're kind of forgetting about is that this suit isn't just a haptic suit. What makes this an insane package is that it's also a full actual motion capture rig, and the tracking fidelity is pretty freaking good. While still not as good as something like Vive trackers, when I move, my avatar moves, and it's pretty one-to-one. Plus, since this is IMU based, I can wear this under a blanket or with any VR headset.
Oh, the tracking is good, huh? Well, how about that time when your tracking completely failed and you looked like a pretzel in front of everyone?
He's got a girlfriend.
Or the dozens of times when the entire suit just froze, leaving you looking like an idiot.
Hey, come on, I was just about to get to that.
Oh, or the time when...
Look, this thing packs a lot of bang for the buck, but as I was about to say, it's not perfect. The haptics and full body
Listen, Thrill is a very nice gentleman. He's helped out our channel a few times. He has like close, I don't know, where is he at right now? Let's look at his subscriber count here. 673,000 subscribers. We have to be very nice to him, noob. Listen, Thrill Seeker, we all know you get laid a lot. It's fine. Fia and you enjoy one another, and it's a happy, healthy relationship. They love guys, and just wanted to put that out there.
Tracking work well most of the time. I did run into a few pretty big issues that I gotta mention. The tracking, while better than most methods, just isn't quite as good as something like Slime VR or Vive trackers. Most of the time, it's fine, but occasionally something goes haywire. And of course, you still have that floaty IMU thing going on where you don't look quite concrete. But I think the #1 issue I had was the suit freezing and disconnecting randomly. Shockwave did say that this problem has been fixed in the newest version of the suits, but I'm having the issue, so I gotta talk about it. The other problem is that there's no easy way to recalibrate the IMUs when you're in an application. If you've ever dealt with IMU tracking before, you'll know that this is pretty darn necessary. IMUs are just susceptible to drift, which means you're gonna have to recalibrate occasionally. And with most things, this is fine.
By the way, IMUs are inertial measuring units, which I believe are all the blue dots that are the trackers right there on Thrill Seeker right now, and basically he's calibrating. So what he's saying is basically like it can become uncalibrated a lot, which is a giant pain in the ass. And we're not talking about the haptic sensors in the butt.
It's just a bit of a hassle. With Shockwave though, at least right now, you have to, for example, close VR chat, open the calibrator, calibrate it, close it, and then open VR chat again, and then hope you get a solid amount of time before your next calibration. It's a little annoying. That being said, all the issues aside, this is still pretty freaking cool. It's also kind of hard to directly compare this to anything because it does more than what most things do, and especially for something like VR chat. Right now, this is still looking to be one of the most affordable and versatile pieces of immersive hardware I've ever seen. It's a cheap jack of all trades. But as all
dude, Camelot music. That's the exact inside of Camelot music. I don't know if you guys had Camelot musics back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, but when you walked into a Camelot for these things called CDs, it's these ancient relics that you would buy at a Camelot music store. This was the setup and the color coordination of a Camelot music store. Thank you, Coob. Listen, I knew at least one person in here would know what I'm talking about, but this was Camelot music. I bought a lot of grunge at Camelot music. I was definitely into the Nirvanas, the Alice in Chains. I was definitely into the Rage Against the Machine. I was definitely into the Soundgarden. Did I say Soundgarden? Chris Cornell, amazing. Missed that dude.
things are, there's an even...
Was there a Camelot song? Hold on. Camelot music commercial. Hold on. Now you got me on a tangent here. Is there a Camelot music song here? Okay, hold on 1 second.
Stop, look, and listen at Camelot music.
Bruce Springsteen, Barbara Streisand, Billy Joel, Willie Nelson. Look for the nice price sticker and save on CDs and cassettes. Get hit music from the Bangles, Simon and Garfunkel, Aerosmith, and more.
This is a little bit before my time.
And get superstar CDs and cassettes at a super nice price.
I was in the era. That's not it. Hold on, Camelot. Now you got me on a tangent. Music song. Camelot music song. Well, that's there's a guy out there singing about Camelot. Camelot music. It's not there. Shit, somebody needs to share that with me. Now I'm gonna think about that all day today until I hear the Camelot music song.
Bigger issue here, the Kickstarter.
Sheesh, finally.
So my initial skepticism for the Shockwave suit seems to have been somewhat well placed. So let's put on the sleuth hat, because this is part of why this is so odd. Shockwave got its start on Kickstarter all the way back in 2020. With 563 backers, they raised $161,000 with only around 400 of the backers actually paying. Now, fast forward to 2023, and Shockwave says they still haven't shipped about a quarter of their suits to backers, and 2 years has passed. So, just what the hell happened? This is a dope piece of tech with a lot of potential, and I don't smell scam here because unlike most Kickstarter scams, it is a real product. They have shipped quite a bit. And when you actually look into it, turns out things weren't quite what they seem. Because even though the price has shot up all the way to around $400 or so for one of these, back in 2020 during the Kickstarter, they were trying to sell these for just $190 for the base kit.
What?
Which is barely even breaking even. Turns out that decision was kind of stupid because just a few months later, component costs skyrocketed and chip shortages plagued the entire industry. Within just a few months of their Kickstarter closing, they were losing money every time they shipped a unit. And you know, the funny part is, I probably would have actually believed this was real back then and not a Kickstarter scam if it had cost more. And then they ironically wouldn't even be in this situation because they'd have more cash flow. But everybody has 20/20 vision in hindsight. And that brings us to the current state of Shockwave. And you know what? If any company is ever gonna put me in this position that you're about to hear, I think you all deserve to know about it too. Here's the call that I had with Shockwave to talk about what's going on.
Now, just after the Kickstarter campaign and we started manufacturing the suits, the price of IMUs shot 5x, like literally 5x and above. So whatever stock we had We just manufacture and we deliver to our backers. So about 100 odd backers do not have their suit, and they are, I think, waiting for it. And we are working on that. But the problem is, when you have to buy things cheap, you have to buy them in bulk.
When we didn't do that, so the people who don't have their suits yet are completely screwed because we do not have the money to cover the difference in cost, because this is going off 5 times and we did not prepare properly and we did not buy enough units to supply those people that actually pledged the amount of money and were promised these suits. So we can't give them to you because we would literally go broke trying to fulfill the orders. Wow. Oh man. Woo.
We don't have the resources right now to buy them in bulk. That is the reason. No profits, nothing. We want to deliver all the suits to the leftover Kickstarter backers. So that is the reason we are going for pre-orders. I'll be very frank here. I really shouldn't say it as a businessman, like as an entrepreneur, I shouldn't be saying it, but things depend on you. I shouldn't say, but the fate of this company is kind of dependent on you. I'm not putting too much pressure on you, but this is the fact, man. And please get this video.
What is going on here?
You got it. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna go get to work then. So, the entire fate of Shockwave apparently rests in my hands, or maybe this video's hands. But the funny part about all of this is that I can't actually do anything. And if what—
Dude, this is so many types of sketch right now, man. Thrill's like, dude, I'm just a content creator. I can't help you out that much, you know? I get the message out, but like, I might not be able to help you at all. This guy, like, is a CEO. I don't want to hear that from a CEO. See, that makes me feel all types of sketch. He's basically like, I don't have the vision. I don't have the wherewithal. I don't have the experience to give you guys the product that you deserve, that you paid for. You guys need to pay up more money so I can fulfill the 5 times input costs that these IMUs, that these cost me. Like, wow, man. Like, wow. And then he says, I'm banking on you, Thrill Seeker. So when you put this video out, maybe you can help me make up the difference. What? Is this what I'm watching? Poor Thrill Seeker. Like, what the fuck? Maybe I'm taking things out of context and I missed something with my limited caveman brain, but this is how I've interpreted things right now. If I'm incorrect, please somebody in the chat let me know, but this is how I am interpreting things. Now, I am live, so sometimes I miss things. What
I heard was right. Shockwave wants to essentially subsidize their unsent Kickstarter hardware with a new batch of pre-orders. Charge a little more than they would so they have enough money for all the units. And they're relying on a video like this to do that, which I feel is almost disingenuous if I wouldn't include that. And so
this is why I watch Thrill Seeker, because that journalistic integrity. This is why I continue to watch his channel. Totally love this. Everything's out in the open, super transparent, pioneer of this space. Really respect and admire somebody who's chasing after the newest, latest gear and says it like it is, because there's not a lot of people out there like that other than Noobifier, who's here in our chat right now. Check out his second channel. Super awesome. Super love it.
Well, I think this is pretty darn interesting. If this is the kind of thing that gets you excited, is it worth the gamble on a haptic full-body tracksuit that maybe won't happen for a while and bail them out? Or is it better to just look at Shockwave as yet another failed Kickstarter that bit off a bit more than it can chew at the wrong time? And I think this situation right here is exactly why, in the future, we're all gonna look back at Shockwave, no matter which way it goes, whether it turns into vaporware or whether these turn into the best suits ever made. We're gonna be thinking, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Ash is right. It seems like they are devs and engineers, not business people. They made a cool thing, but have little experience running a company. Boom. Yes. 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 That's why you're Super Mod Ash with the green ticker. So let me, by the way, can we give Super Mod Ash a round of applause? He's been very active. It's so nice to see him again. Ash, it's so nice to see you, bro. Very helpful in Discord, getting rid of like some bad actors in our Discord. He's doing such a wonderful job. Thank you so much for all your help, Ash. We appreciate you, dude.
That was odd. Virtually odd. So, yeah, I honestly don't know where this one's gonna go. I think Shockwave has something really freaking cool here, and it's something I've wanted for a long time.
It is
but,
cool.
Well, you guys know the entire situation
First
now,
off,
and just wanted.
First off, I don't like that it gets uncalibrated a lot. Like, basically, I felt like Thrill Seeker was being a little bit soft on that one. Like, I feel like it does get uncalibrated a lot from what I gathered. You know, like the underlying system needs to be calibrated a lot, which I'm not a big fan of. Secondly, like Ash says, these guys aren't business dudes. Nobody was like a business leader and thought things through and actually said, hey, this is our budget. This is what we need to buy. This is the amount of supply we need to get. Nothing. There was nothing there in terms of that. You can tell because it's lackluster and it fell through, and now they're trying to charge difference to the consumers who pledged already and asking for more, and then they're banking on Thrill to put a video out to promote it, which is just like, that was probably one of the dumbest things to ever do, because as a business person, that's so unprofessional. It's like, hey, dude, hey, guy who's a YouTube content creator, we're actually like kind of like banking on you, you know, like, what? Dude, that's so unprofessional, man. That's like, that's kiddo mode. Like, you're not even part of the business world. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how people act in business.
And to say this in case it needs saying, I'm not getting anything for this video. I was offered an affiliate code for the pre-orders, but I turned it down. I did get the suit.
He doesn't even have to say shit like that anymore. Like, I've seen enough videos from Thrill Seeker, and I know his integrity is like 110%. And, you know, the comment he had put on one of our posts was, we were joking about the new headset called the Beyond. By the way, it's on the channel. Not a lot of views, by the way, but I like this headset. It was very low profile, super cool, custom modded inside rubber gasket that fit to your freaking head so that it fit to your face exactly. No, you couldn't see any edges. It was your eyes are completely submersed. Amazing tech. I really loved his piece on that. And he commented, because we were just joking around, and we said, you know, I wonder if he got paid for this because he's talking so great about this product. But, you know, I knew deep down he was not. Thrill Seeker put the comment down in there and said, hey, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm not, and said that like our criticisms, our feedback are super helpful in making his videos. So thank you, Thrill Seeker. You're awesome, dude. In my book, you're A+, man.
Sent to me so I could test out and make a video, but that's it. Otherwise, I am so glad that Virtually Odd is back. I've got a whole pile of videos that I'm working through, so let me know what you guys thought. Anyways, thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for making videos
very cool. Go help him out. He doesn't need our help. The guy's got like 700,000 subscribers, but I always love watching his stuff. He makes really great content. You gotta check him out. His name's Thrill Seeker. Let's see what is next, Pepe.